Well, gang, they do say that empty net goals are the hardest.
Do they?
It's been said. Like, players have been asked. They know that that's where people tend to choke sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say maybe not the most graceful way for Calgary to close out the game, but we did get another straight banger against the New York Rangers. It is always a fun game for whatever reason when the Flames play the Rangers. 3-2 decision, a third straight win for the Flames, and Dustin Wolf in his third straight start.
Wins again.
Wins.
Yeah.
Welcome to Afterburner, everybody. I'm Cami. He's Mike if you're new here. But goodness gracious, where do we start? Maybe big picture? Zoom out a little bit. So Calgary now has a chance at a perfect homestand with 3 straight victories at the Dome, all of them really tight games, kicked off with Dustin Wolf's first NHL shutout. They're now 1 point behind Vegas for first in the Pacific with an 11-6-3 record, and they're taking a very interesting route to get there, and it's forcing us to ask the question, playoffs?
I have no idea. I really don't. I don't get it at all. I don't know what to make of these guys. They have points in 7 of their last 8, which just doesn't feel real, but it is. It's 100% true. I mean, this is a team that lost 4 in a row in regulation at the end of October, and we were kind of saying they are who we thought they were, and maybe they're not. I don't really know what to say. They haven't scored more than 4 goals in a game in 5 weeks?
We are still asking where are the goals, but the ones they are counting, boy howdy, are they good.
You have to go back to when they beat the Edmonton Oilers 4-1. They had a 4-3 shootout win over the Pittsburgh Penguins in that span, but you got to go back more than a month to find the last time the Flames scored more than 3 goals. They should have tonight, and they didn't for pretty funny reasons. I mean, not a whole lot you can say on a sequence like that, but at the end of the day, they get another win, and they just keeping pace. I don't understand quite exactly how it's happening, but maybe they are just better than we all thought they were.
2 to 3 goals is all you need when Dustin Wolf is playing like that. I don't think it was necessarily a crazy highlight reel night for him, but there were certainly some really good saves, particularly on rebounds. The 2 goals that the Rangers did get past him, I don't think you can particularly fault Wolf for those. One is a pretty good rebound in tight. The other one, a tip in traffic.
Yeah, and he got a piece of the first one. I mean,
yeah, he was very close. Really it was similar to the last goal against LA in that it was so close to being a highlight reel save.
He was down and out, and he got a little bit of that shot by Lafreniere. I think it hit a piece of the post as well, and then it just trickles in. The shot, 16 seconds later, just a weird deflection, and sometimes that just happens. And I don't know if I would blame really any goaltender for a sequence like that, but ultimately the Flames showed good resolve. They were never going to be able to sort of maintain the pace that they set in the first period when they outshot the Rangers, 21-5?
20-5. Actually, I think the shots were kind of the craziest part of this game. It did slow down towards the end, but the Flames did outshoot the Rangers in every frame, 20-5, 17-14, 12-10 for a final shot clock of 49-29, which sounds crazy, but I think that would tie for like the 23rd most goals or shots, in a game by the Flames.
Yeah.
The record came in 2022 against Columbus. That was a 62-shot game. I remember well, that one was nuts, but it's almost Sutter-esque in that even I didn't catch a lot of the Islanders game. I had hockey that night, but when we go back before that, it's like the Sutter-esque thought process of put it all on net. Does not matter where from. And even when New York was getting shots on net, they weren't necessarily coming from high danger areas. In the first period in particular, Calgary was doing a really good job of forcing them to the outside because defense has been a highlight for this team.
Yeah. It's funny when you said the record was the Columbus game back in 22. I remember that game, but the first thought that I had was it's got to be that Dallas game, but that was a playoff game. The game 7 against the Stars. I mean, they had to have like 67 shots in that game or something. But in any event, a crazy first period. The Flames were just flying. I mean, it's probably the best period they've played all year. They've played a lot of these games where Wolf has had to be the better goaltender. ultimately Wolf was very good tonight, but you can't sort of dispute it was the Igor Shesterkin show for a lot of this game. And we were promised a good goaltending battle, and we got it. And the Flames, like you said, Cami, they did a great job on the attack, and they get a goal in the first period at home for the first time this month.
10th time this season, everybody.
The first time this month they have scored at home in the first period. That is beyond crazy to me. And it's Matt Coronato. And, a guy who has, as I've said repeatedly, really turned me into a huge believer of his game. I was always, high on the skill set, but just seeing him turn his game around in the last month after a bit of a rocky start, it's just been incredible. It just sort of makes you wonder, how would those Flames in the 2000s, how would they have been different if, say, they'd had Mike Camilleri from the start of his career instead of getting him for one season in his late 20s and then getting him back in his 30s? This is what Coronato is to me. I mean, he has just been so strong. He had a chance at the empty net. I mean, so many players did. He gets that goal. That's a goal scorer's goal. Great to see Yegor Sharangovich get a point. He entered this game with a on-ice shooting percentage, I believe, of 3.57% at 5-on-5. I mean, guy just hasn't been able to buy anything. He gets a goal and assist tonight. So a really nice way to open the game in the first period. All that effort and then a goal as well.
Are the Flames because those guys.
Oh.
You're so welcome.
I'm just going to let that speak for itself.
Honestly, you should. Soak it in. It gets funnier the more you think about it. There's a lot of parallels we can draw. But yeah, that is an incredible goal. And you can really see Coronato too. He cuts in a touch to change the angle a little bit, but he creates a little bit of a screen for himself to pick his spot and score a goal on a Vezina winner. It was an NHL first All-Star.
And he loved doing that because he grew up an Islanders fan. So, he had a great chance to win that game in overtime against the Islanders 2 nights ago. And then scoring a goal against the team he probably grew up just absolutely despising. That's got to feel good for Matty. If I know anything about, that way that brain works when you get really into it against a certain team, he probably just was over the moon scoring that goal.
Comment from Peter Turner in the chat there. Coronato has improved his skating in spades thanks to the one and only Danielle Fujita.
He's had a lot of sessions with her.
I love Danielle so much. And it's crazy to talk to her. Like the way that players can lengthen their careers just by working on their skating. Like I know they're not here now, but if you talk to Danielle, 2 players in particular who really changed the trajectory of their careers when it looked like things weren't going to work out for them were Juuso Välimäki and your all-time favorite Michael Stone.
Yes. She
did a lot of work with him coming back from the clot.
Absolutely. And, with Coronato, he's skating. It was something that bothered me watching him last year. He just seemed too sort of horizontal. I don't think he was upright enough. I thought he was just trying. He just looked a little hunched over, and I think has really improved his posture in addition to his stride. I mean, I'm not a skating coach, but just the sort of things that you notice, he's so much quicker. He is so much quicker. And on top of that, I think there's a mental aspect to it too, where he is just that much more eager and willing to go to the middle of the ice. And we saw it on that goal where he's not a perimeter player. He's not at all. He scores his goals by going to the middle and taking those shots and picking those corners. And he did that again tonight.
And look at this. Oh, everyone in the chat is so nice. Happy birthday, Mike.
Thank you. Hey.
Happy 18th.
Happy 18th, huh? Yeah.
I'm kidding. He's not 18, but he still can't rent a car without paying an extra penalty.
Yeah. There are so many people today were like, you're so close to being able to rent a car. I have rented a Chevy Camaro. Like I've rented cars before. I just had to pay a little bit more. And those fees, they're not fun. My car insurance will probably go down next year. Not yet. And I'm working on it.
Insurance never goes down in Alberta.
It'll go down by staying at the same rate. That's what it will go.
Saskatchewan car insurance is where it's at, and that's just facts. But let's get back to the game recap. We talked about Coronato. That takes us to the second period. A rare power play goal has appeared.
Yeah, Yegor Sharangovich. How about that? I mean,
what a one-timer. Curse is broken in his 300th game. We had a couple of milestones tonight, and there's Weegar and Coronato with the apples there.
Yeah, great to see Yegor. there's been a lot made about him struggling, but I think he's been shooting the puck as well as he ever has. It's just like it has for everybody else. It just hasn't been going in. I mean, we've seen it with Zary, how many chances he's had. We've seen it with guys like Huberdeau. We've seen it with guys like Kuzmenko. And for my money, Yegor's been shooting the puck recently as well as he has with the Flames. His stride looks just as good. Not his stride, his release looks just as good, in my opinion, as it ever has. And on that shot, I mean, just completely a wicked one-timer. Tees it up perfectly and posting in. That's exactly how he makes his money. And, great to see him get off the schneid, because I think now that Sharangovich has scored, I wouldn't be surprised if they just come flowing through.
And I mean, common denom on all Calgary goals tonight. We'll get back to the game winner later. We're going to hold up on that one for now. But Mackenzie Weegar just doing the Lord's work. The guy is so dependable. And I know we talk a lot about Four Nations and what that roster is going to look like. It's harder and harder to argue against him. I know you can take probably any top four defenseman on a good team and make a case for them where, like, you gave someone 5 minutes to sit down and be like, sell me your top defenseman.
Yeah, I think
and most people could be like, yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. But Mackenzie Weegar, even if it's not all flashy, he can contribute on offense, and he just works his bag off.
He does. And the thing with Weegar that has been so impressive lately, I thought both he and Daniil Miromanov had really rough starts to the season. Like, there were people harping on Miromanov. I thought Weegar, for his part, struggled just as much. I thought neither of them looked good. I thought they were both out of sync. And the last 3 weeks, I would say, they have both been, I would say, pretty much close to perfectly in sync. That pairing has been outstanding.
Miromanov had a really good play with about 7 minutes left in the second period tonight. We had a situation where, there's a hard shot off the boards in the Flames D zone. It looks like it's going to pop out for like a prime chance right in front of the net. And Miromanov is able to get there and get a stick on it and just send it back to the boards and start the breakout.
Well, by my counts, and I don't remember if it changed tonight, if they were on for a goal, but before the goal in the last game, the Pierre Engvall goal where he sort of danced around Miromanov, I don't think that pairing had been on the ice for a goal against since October 26th. They've been really, really strong, and it's just been something where you can see them. I mean, they look like they did at the end of last season, and at the end of last season, those last 20 games, we were sort of sitting here watching and saying, hold on a sec. This guy who Conroy got as a throw-in the Noah Hannafin trade, is he the guy who's going to make Weegar play to his full potential and sort of help him? I mean, Weegar's always been good in Calgary, but those last 20 games of last season,
full potential?
Well, no, both of them. Like, I think Weegar's last 20 games of last season were the best that he's played as a Flame, and the underlyings were just meteoric. They were outstanding together. I think 65% expected goals or something. Like, it's been, and the last like the start of November, them together, it's been right back at that. The shots, I think, with those two on the ice, I was just looking at the numbers this morning. I think they were like 50-30 with those two on the ice at 5-on-5. They've just been absolutely dominant. So
yeah, I don't know that I attribute that to Miromanov.
I think both of them. I think both of them are just at their full potential. And I think with Weegar, I mean, he's obviously the driver. He's the guy who has 6 more years after this one on his contract. He'll is
be
the
here
guy.
For a minute.
Yeah, he's a guy who you can build. I mean, that's the sort of thing, right? You look at this Flames group, and there's a really strong case to be made, that Weegar's going to be the elder statesman who ushers in this young generation. Sort of creates a little bit of a question about what Rasmus, the future there will be, but the Flames are going to be in good hands as long as they have Weegar around to help these Zane Parek's and those guys into the NHL, because he's just been rock solid.
Oh, and Anderson had that crazy shot block too. That looked painful. He just ate that shit.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Rasmus is going to be smart. And
that was like a scarier expression he made than when he was staring down fans after goals. Just pure grimace.
Yeah. He couldn't find an Islanders fan last game. The streak's over. I guess there weren't any. There would have been some Rangers fans tonight if he had scored. There were a few of them in the dome. I know Pinder was there, though. Was Pinder? I think we have the clip of that fan. That fan. No, we're going to stop on that. We'll come back to that later. Come back to that later.
Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
Put a Pinder in that.
Yeah. So yeah, that takes us. Yeah. So like 2-0 Flames. It's all looking good. It's like, will Dustin Wolf get another shutout? Will the Rangers ever get a shot on goal again? 16 seconds can just about change everything, folks. Yeah. For me, the magic number is 13 seconds. I think if you have a 2-goal lead with 13 seconds left, that is when you can officially calm down. You're good. You're gold.
Yeah.
16. Not safe. Not safe. That is where we see the Rangers break through with a couple of quick ones in the second period. First one, Lafreniere tucks in that rebound as Wolf sprawls. There's Trouba and Lindgren pick up the assists on this one.
Yeah, it was tough because Wolf gets a piece and then it goes off the post and it just trickles in. And I don't know if we have the reverse view of this one, but I don't think we do. But Lafreniere just, he was dangerous. I thought, with the Rangers, I thought didn't have many players who looked that dangerous consistently all night. I thought Lafreniere
was
the
best one for them.
I thought he was their best player, aside from Shesterkin, of course.
It's a given with the Rangers when you got somebody like that. And, right after that, I mean, I think it was the first shift off the face-off. It was Logan Cooley. Miller just whips it through traffic, and that's like a perfect tip. And it went low. I think it was 5-hole on Wolf, but nothing much that he could really do about that. That is like definition perfect tip, but that gives us a tie game, takes us to the third period. But
this is
gander at it here.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Oh, we lost it. But in any event, there's Wolfie sort of saying, how did that one go? How did that one squeak by? It's Cooley from the high slot, and or actually the low slot rather, just getting a stick on it, and Wolf sort of squared up in another part of the crease. Nothing you can really do about it. I mean, that's the tough thing. When you're shooting on Dustin Wolf, you have to get those bodies in front of him, because really, for the most part, if it's a clear shot, he's going to stop it. So that's how they got it in 2-2 game, but the Flames came back.
Yeah, let's just take a look at that Zary go-ahead goal right now. It's just so impressive. He's being checked hard all the way and just sends it high on Shesterkin. It's a beauty, and it'll stand as Jonathan Huberdeau's 500th career assist. But that's great for Zary, especially since he was just getting it taken to him all night. Cooley had a borderline boarding hit on him behind the net. He got pushed into Kevin Ball early in the game, and Kevin Ball is that must be like getting run into a brick wall.
Connor Zary on another team, I think, would be like well over a point a game right now. It's utterly bizarre, the run of poor finishing luck he has had the last few weeks. He has been just so outwardly, obviously talented with the puck. He has been displaying everything he can do, and he just hasn't been getting rewarded. And that's a perfect instance of everything Connor Zary can do. I mean, the shot is going to get all the attention. The strength to fend off Capo Caco.
That's insane. I think that is the hardest part about it, to hold him off for that long.
It's unbelievable.
Oof.
And the speed, he came in with good speed, fully on the rush, sprung perfectly by Huberdeau, who gets his 500th assist. We were waiting for it for a while. Gets finally that 18% milestone.
18% of them have come with Calgary, and I'm rounding up.
Yeah, 85 in total with the Flames. But nevertheless, good to see him get that milestone. It would have been a lot nicer if he'd gotten the goal on top of it. We'll get to that. But ultimately just a beautiful play. And with Zary, you can see all the flashes. I mean, it is just a matter of producing on a consistent level. And I almost wonder if you stick Zary next to Coronato at some point later this season, see what they can do together. Because as of right now, I mean, I think the last few weeks, I think you could make a pretty good case. They've been the Flames' two best forwards.
Absolutely. Maybe not the best face-offs yet.
No, working on it.
Dang, he's going to get there. I think that was about 18% tonight as well. But who can complain with the rest of what he did, honestly? And then we really get to finish this thing off on a high note. Let's take a look at that empty net attempt.
I mean, it wasn't just Jonathan Huberdeau.
No, it was everybody, but this is the worst one. But this is the worst one.
Yeah, it was just egregious. Here, let's let it speak for itself.
Once he started waiting, I just knew it was going to happen.
It's tough because he's a lefty, so the angle is a little bit worse. That's the nicest thing I can say about it. If he's a righty, he's shooting from the inside, and the angle's pretty much dead on. Aside from that, Johnny, you just got to score that. I mean, come on, you're in the NHL.
There's just nothing that sums up his time in Calgary more than that. And thank goodness the clock ran out and they went right to a close-up of him. So thank God he's smiling and celebrating with those guys and laughing about it, because I feel like if I did that, I would simply go to the room.
I mean, like Matty Coronato had a chance probably about 20, 25 seconds earlier. I don't know if it was deflected when
he had one that was tipped and it went wide.
It did just go wide. It got stuck in the net. It got stuck on the plastic protector.
Right?
Yeah. Like the Flames were just so woeful with the empty net tonight. And it was guys who you want to see score too. Like you want to see Coronato especially continue to score goals. You want to see Huberdeau continue to score. And
yes, we want to see him do well.
It's these guys who, like, you know, Sharangovich would have had another assist on that goal by Coronato. It's like these are guys who need points, and they just haven't been getting points. So it's just it's just sad.
It is not the worst empty net blunder we've ever seen, though.
No. Our friend Pilo Bardias, I think, knows one a little bit more intimately than we do.
Mr. Stefan.
Patrick, his son's pretty good. James? Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. If you don't know James Stefan, he was undrafted, played his last year with the Portland Winterhawks last year, 50-goal season, earned a contract with the Oilers.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Good
for him.
Good for him.
Good for him in your best Lucille Bluth voice. But if you want to know exactly what my face looked like when Huberdeau hit that post, hit the mask clip. Hit it.
Oh, now we're doing it. Oh, dear.
I'm so excited for it, but I think it's kind of scary, and it is going to haunt my dreams.
I just want to know if it was pinned or under the mask.
No.
Like, you never know. I mean...
The werewolves of Calgary. Look at this.
That is exactly what I look like hissing at the TV without the friendly wave.
It's just sad.
The yellow eyes are a nice touch.
It's like Harvey the Hound's distraught cousin or something. Like,
yeah, with less scary eyes. Have Harvey's eyes always looked like that? My phone's going crazy. Harvey has definitely taken on a new look. Are you watching us on your phone while you have the show up on your laptop?
My computer died. I'm just pulling the stream back up.
That's dedication.
Is there still volume? Oh yeah, there is. I don't know if I can turn that off. I'll just turn that off. We don't need that up. Happy birthday to me. This show is really chugging along.
You're really filing it.
It's the best it's ever been.
This is 24. This is 24, baby. Oh gosh, what a way to end it. That was the worst one. And everyone else is thankful that their empty nets are just going to be forgotten because of that. Yeah.
Really nothing much more that you can say than that. It was just, it was a funny game. It was a funny game where the Flames just, they couldn't bury it except if they had the absolute perfect shots. And they got 3 of them. And somehow it was enough to do it again, to win another game. And Dustin Wolf with a .931 save percentage on the night. Really, I mean, when your goaltender is your best player, you're either going to lose a lot of games or win a lot of games. And the Flames right now they're winning a lot of games because their goaltender is just truly remarkable. And there's not a whole lot more that I can say than that.
So we went through more than a month of the NHL season, and we saw the Flames going Vladar, Wolf, Vladar, Wolf, Vladar, Wolf. We've now seen 3 straight starts from Wolf. Is it time to give him a rest with a matinee against Minnesota coming up?
I'm split on it. I part of me thinks you ride the hot hand. You give him starts until he loses. That's part of me. I mean, it's tough because the rest is even less than it would be. It's a matinee game on Saturday, so you really have just Friday to rest up, and then Saturday you're basically thrown right into the frying pan immediately. So,
but would you rather have him rested when you're kicking off a road trip, knowing that you're closing the road trip with a back-to-back before a very emotional game coming back home?
Right. And ultimately your goal, I think, if you're the Flames, I mean, it's been their goal since the start of the season, and it's especially going to be their goal now that they are so far up in the Pacific Division standings. Their goal is going to make the playoffs. Oh, Cami, your pen is just exploded.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, so close to sinking that in a garbage can.
That was pretty close.
Gotta use the backboard.
Like I was saying, their goal is to make the playoffs, really. I mean, it has been from the start of the year, and now that they've built up this cushion for themselves, their goal is to put themselves in as good a position as they can. And for me, I mean, I don't know if it's officially canonized just yet, but if I was the coach, I'd be looking at Wolf as being my number 1 guy, or at least being close to it.
But he's not going to take up Jacob Markstrom style starts, because Markstrom was known for wanting to play a dummy amount of games.
No, what my point was going to be is I might give Vladar the start against Minnesota with the eye on really leaning on Wolf on the road trip. Because really, you think about it, he doesn't have much experience being the guy on the road, on being the guy on the road, where maybe you're being expected not just to travel, to 3 different cities in 6 days, but play in all 3 of those cities or all 4 of those cities. It's very different playing a big homestand versus playing on the road. You got to get used to all these different rinks. You got to get used to all these different locales. So I might give Vladar that Saturday game and then say to Dustin, because the other part of it, and we'll get to the road ahead in a moment, those games on the road should theoretically be a little bit more winnable. And if you want to have your hot hand sort of mowing them down, knocking down all the bowling pins at once, just maybe stack them up and say, go knock them all down. You give Vladar the game against a Minnesota team that's been overachieving and doing quite well and just beat the Oilers, and say, well, if you win this one, that's great too. And then just say, Wolf, go at it, go on the road and play all these games.
Well, we know it's Thursday, a great night to be down with our friends at Richmond's Pub, home away from home for Afterburner. They've got Burner Blonde from Origin Brewing all day at a special low price. Food, daily specials, TVs, all the games. They've got the November football experience contest on now. Your flights, hotel, $500 cash, tickets to the December 9th match between the Bengals and Cowboys on the line. You got to go on Thursdays. I want to know who was there tonight.
Yeah, you got to go tonight.
Yeah, get the draw, your name into the pot, get drawn. Your name will go into the big pot for the grand prize that's going to get drawn in early December, but you got to be there to collect it. So go on, get over there, especially with the Flames hitting the road for the next couple here. And we're all going to be there live on location on December 3rd for what's going to be a very, very special game with the Columbus Blue Jackets in town. But that gives us a good chance to take a gander at the old road ahead. We mentioned we have the matinee coming up this weekend, hosting the Minnesota Wild. They beat the Oilers 5-3 tonight. Kirill Kaprizov actually left the game for a portion. He did come back and, get a point, but he took a knee-on-knee hit. Yeah. And it looked like that was potentially going to keep him out for a while. And I don't think we're going to see Mr. Ruptured Testicle anytime soon either.
No, poor Mats. That's terrifying. That's tough. I don't want to even think about that. That's not fun. Yeah, no, the Wild though, they've been a real success story this season. I mean, talk about it. I think before this game, one of the only goalies with a save percentage higher than Dustin Wolf was Philip Gustafsson. I don't remember if he didn't play tonight, so he and Wolf are now tied with a 926, and I would expect Gustafsson to get the start on Saturday because Fleury started tonight. So, yeah, that's a good Wild team.
I hate to go back to it, but is it bad that I kind of want to see what that dented cup looks like?
I'm sure you do want to see what it looks like.
I do.
I can't say I do. I think that would be make me kind of squeamish, and I don't know. I don't like thinking about that. It's like, yeah.
Well, no one wants to think about it, but
I don't know, Cami. No,
it's like when you see a helmet that's destroyed and someone's like, that helmet saved my life,
I guess. Yeah. It's a different kind of helmet. It does have a strap.
Smaller head. Well, I'm sorry.
I was talking like a jock strap, but yeah, smaller head.
I think we're going to leave that one behind now.
That's pretty clever.
All right. Flames about to go on the road after they play Minnesota. Amazon Prime game in Ottawa on Monday. Man, I'm starting to feel like Boo Boo the Fool, because every year I think that the Senators are going to be good, and they just struggle despite having a world of just young talent on that roster. They fell to Vegas tonight, second last in the Eastern Conference, 4 losses in a row right now, and they have to play the Canucks before the Flames get to town.
Poor Julian McKenzie. Poor Julian. Comes here for 2 years, watches the Flames miss the playoffs twice, goes to Ottawa. The Senators have lost 4 in a row. They're underachieving again. I want he's a good guy. I want him to cover a good team. I want the Sens to be good just for him. Oh, that poor guy. No, the Sens.
It's your punishment for leaving us, Julian.
Right. Yeah, Julian, come on, get with the program. No, it's those. I don't know what the Sens are going to do. I don't know. I felt like they had sort of addressed their glaring area of need with Linus Ullmark, and maybe he bounces back. Goalies sometimes take a while to adjust, but it's it is a situation in Ottawa now. It's very similar to Detroit. I think Ottawa's in a better spot than Detroit just because I like their younger players better. I think Tim Stützle and Jake Sanderson are, two of the best young players at their respective
Honorary
positions.
Calgarian.
Yeah. Jeff Sanderson, Northwest Territories. Good old boy from up in Yellowknife, I think. And Jake Sanderson, of course, a really good defenseman from the Ottawa Senators. But it's so tough. Like, you've been in this position for how many years, and you have had some drafts that you probably want to forget. I mean, Carter Yakimchuk notwithstanding, he looks pretty good, but it's just
got a 6 goal the other night.
Yeah, the Hitmen are loading up too, but it's just we'll talk maybe more about that later. But I just don't know what to make of the Sens, and I think that's a winnable game for Calgary just because the Sens just don't seem to have it figured out.
And even if we don't support the Sens, we do support Julian.
We do.
His first book is coming out soon.
We love him.
Keep posted. Then Detroit on Wednesday. They beat the Islanders tonight, but they're going to play the Islanders again on the road on Monday before they host Calgary. They're another sub 500 team right now. They're, powered by nostalgia. Huge night for them. Pavel Datsyuk signing his 1-day contract to officially retire a Red Wing. I know Ovi and Crosby were it for so long, but yeah. I genuinely think that Ovi was the goal scorer's icon of kind of my generation. I know right now you could say that it's McDavid and Draisaitl, but there's a certain type of kid who's no, man, it's Nikita Kucherov and that's it. Mm-hmm. That's what Pavel Datsyuk was to a certain age group.
Yeah, he was magical. I mean, that's the thing. And the Red Wings could sure use a guy like that right now. It's just, it is such a tough environment in Detroit. And I don't know. I don't know what Steve Yzerman has planned because I just don't see his plan. I don't see his plan right now in Detroit. I don't see the future for that team. I think their drafting has been okay. I think Simon Edmondson is a really good young player. But ultimately, you're kind of banking on Marco Kasper being that 2C or Nate Danielson being that 2C. But I don't know if I see an elite player in Detroit. I see a lot of really, really good players. I really like Moritz Seider. I really like Lucas Raymond. But I don't know if I see that true elite game breaker top 5 at his position. I just
remember when
it.
Philip Zadina was supposed to be the future there.
It's just they've had too many of those drafts. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it is on the verge of coming out, and their solution has been to try and figure it out by signing these 30-plus-year-olds like the Andrew Kopps and the JT Compers and the Ben Sherratts and even a guy like Patrick Kane, who's 36 years old. I mean, when you're banking on that guy to be your difference maker, it just, I don't see the plan.
And that's that on that.
Yeah.
Friday the 29th, that's going to be another special one. That's when the Flames are in Columbus to see Sean Monahan and the Blue Jackets. They had a crazy night tonight. Columbus came back from a 3-0 deficit. Werenski had 2 goals tonight, I believe, but the big one, obviously, the OT winner for the 7-6 victory. But we know about why this game is special. I think we're all going to be tuned in, and we're going to have the tissues ready and be ready to cheer on both teams and flinch at that cannon if it goes off, because that's what you do, damn it.
I'm absolutely cheering for Columbus this season. Make no bones about it. I mean, they've got one of my favorite players in the league in Sean Monahan, and I love their collection of young players. I don't know what's going on there with David Jiricek. That's sort of the one weird situation with the Blue Jackets, currently as that roster is constructed. But aside from that, there are so many ways that this season could have gone poorly, off the rails, after what happened in Columbus. And I don't think anybody would have blamed that on anybody because it's unthinkable. And I think Columbus, the Blue Jackets, have done an excellent job of rallying around each other, and they have some really great leaders. I think having Don Waddell and Dean Evison there, they have both done an outstanding job of, I think, just making that environment positive by all accounts, and just saying, you know what, guys, we just want you to come here and play and have fun and win for each other amidst terrible circumstances. And there are so many success stories on that team right now. I mean, I look at Kirill Marchenko having a great year. I look at Yegor Chinakov having a great year. Even Dante Fabro, who they claimed off waivers, having a really nice start.
But also, who hates the Blue Jackets?
Nobody hates
except
the Blue Jackets.
Toronto.
Yeah. I mean, there were some Flames fans who hated Columbus for a while, but
is there anyone? I think of them like the Sens and the Jets. Do they have
No, I don't
True
think so.
haters? No, they don't. They are the little brothers of all of these old fart clubs across the NHL. So that's the 29th. Our last game in the road ahead. It's a back-to-back after the Columbus game, visiting Pittsburgh after that one. That was the last time we saw Pittsburgh. That was a game where Calgary scored 3 goals, and they kind of got another in the shootout, but that was Justin Kirkland scoring in regulation and the 6th round of the shootout to lift Calgary to that 4-3 win in October. Pittsburgh, another struggling team, blown leads everywhere, figuring out where the team is at. Reports floating around that everyone except for Sidney Crosby is available on the trade block. So if you're a Flames fan and you are team push for the playoffs, this stretch is a huge opportunity against relative bottom feeders. But as we know, Calgary will never make it easy. These are the games that they will blow, and then they will come back and face some of the toughest teams that are expected to compete for the Stanley Cup and take it to them, because that's what happens here.
This stretch is going to make or break, the early part of their season. It's, if they go on a real slide here, then all of a sudden we're going to be sitting on our chairs here in the middle of December and saying, okay, maybe the lottery watch is back on. Maybe they'll pick 9th again and keep their pick. If they win 3 or 4 or 5 of these games, maybe all of a sudden we're sitting here in a couple of weeks and saying, okay, who are some trade targets for this team? Who can they maybe look at to acquire to shore up some of the areas of weakness? What are some of the scenarios here? It's going to be a really fascinating stretch. It's going to dictate, I think, the direction that Craig Conroy goes into a certain extent. And I'm just fascinated to watch it play out. The Flames had some weird games against Pittsburgh in recent years, though. I mean, you talked about that last game. I think Mika night last year was against Pittsburgh, that crazy comeback that they had where Sharangovich and Kadri both scored those goals. And then the one enduring memory that I have of a home game that I went to against Pittsburgh was back in the 18-19 season, right at the very beginning, where they lost 8-1. And the only goal was scored by our old buddy James Neal in the last minute of regulation time. And it was a shot where he took the shot, it deflected off a stick, fluttered high in the air, and went over the head of the Penguins goaltender. And that was one of only 6 goals that James Neal scored that season. 7 goals.
Oh, I was such a James Neal fan before he came here.
The thing that sticks in my craw about Neal is that, I don't know, it just looked like he forgot to how to shoot the puck when he was here. It looked like he was trying to cross-check the puck. He would try to push his hands forward like this. It would just never look fluid. I don't know. He was like the anti-Yegor Sharangovich with his release.
I don't know what you're talking about. The physics of that look like it would make for a perfect shot.
It was just like this weird fragmented shove. It was like he was just trying to shovel his snow off his driveway or something. It just didn't look like he was trying to shoot the puck. Just this weird motion that he had.
There's an adult joke there I'm not going to make. Instead, we're going to hear this message from the folks over at the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army's annual Christmas fundraising campaign kicks off November 26th at the Calgary TELUS Convention Center for a magical evening of hockey stories and memories from Ron McLean. Don't miss this incredible and inspiring event. Proceeds and donations go to Salvation Army programs and services that support families and individuals that need some extra help here in Calgary, such as food services, seniors activities, Christmas assistance, summer camps, and so much more. Tickets are on sale now at hopecalgary.ca.
What you want to talk about, Mike?
I don't know. How are the Wranglers are doing okay. They had another big win. Rory Cairns and Jacob Pelche keep lighting it up. I think Cairns is leading the AHL in scoring. They got 3 guys in the top 6 of AHL scoring. That's kind of fun. Cairns is first, and then Pelche is right there. Walker Dewar is right there, a guy who I'd kind of written off, but is scoring at a clip that he's never scored at in the AHL. So that's kind of interesting to me.
I think Pelche is the one that we got to talk about, though. If we don't see any NHL action from him before Christmas, where's the concern level?
I don't think there's any concern, not for me at least.
For him,
I'm sure. I'm knowing a little bit about Jacob Pelche. I'm sure he is just absolutely smarting to get back in the NHL, and I'm sure the people who represent him are absolutely smarting for him.
That was one of the things the Flames liked the most about him when they picked him. Piss and vinegar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's 100% there, and I know his representatives and whoever is in his camp wants him in the NHL, and he does too. Absolutely. But the concern from my standpoint, if he keeps producing like this, if he's not back in the NHL by Christmas, it's not really there because he certainly hasn't done anything to hurt his stock. He's just been doing what he does. He's been playing with the same enthusiasm and energy that we've come to expect, and it's kind of come back after, it was kind of absent at the end of last season. And so that's a really good sign. The Wranglers keep just chugging along. Jeremy Poirier with another good game. They just keep getting this production from the top end of their lineup, and it's been driving them forward. So the Wranglers, they're on a very long road trip. They should be back at the Saddledome, I think, next week. And then big news on the WHL front yesterday, Cami.
That was a pretty big one. So the Hitmen did stock up. They added Tanner Howe, Britain goals, signed his ELC with the Pittsburgh Penguins this summer after going in the second round of the draft in Vegas. Top 2025 NHL draft eligible defenseman Reese Hamilton from Whitewood, Saskatchewan, headed back to Regina. Keats Fawcett is going with him, as well as a plethora of picks. Regina's really restocking the draft cupboards this year, but that is a big ad for Calgary when they're coming off a really promising U.S. division road trip. Yep. They had points in every game except for one. It was a 2-goal loss to the Everett Silvertips, who lead the entire league. They're stacked with NHL prospects. They've got Landon Dupont. Yep. Everett has been crushing it this year, and Calgary had a really strong showing on that trip. So I think that proves that the Central Division is a tough one. There's a lot of very promising teams where it really could kind of be anyone's division to run with.
Yeah.
This proves that they're ready to kind of lock it down.
Well, and Reese Hamilton, for those of you who don't watch the Hitmen regularly, he was a guy who there were people projecting coming into this season as a potential 25 first-round pick with the way that he was producing with the Hitmen last season, and just didn't really have the same production or role, I don't think.
A little slower to start this year. He did win a gold with Canada at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup this summer. He's tagged as a B prospect by Central Scouting right now. So second to third round pick, but he's going to have a chance to really show what he's got next week when he's one of 10 WHLers heading to CHL USA Prospects Challenge in Ontario. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. That's why I'm not doing any afterburners next week, because I'm heading out there and we're going to have 15-hour days and have the time of our lives. But they're playing the U.S. National Team Development Program, and it'll be interesting. It's not clear-cut Canada versus USA, though, because we have one CHLer who is American.
Well, it reminds me of...
he has represented both Canada and the U.S. on the international stage, and it is Vern Fiddler's son.
Oh. Well, here's that reminds me.
He's a projected first rounder with the Edmonton Oil Kings.
That reminds me of the 2011 Heritage Classic alumni game that the Flames and the Canadiens played. And I don't know if they were having trouble filling out the roster for Montreal. So they gave Marty Gelinas to the Canadiens, even though Marty Gelinas in his career never played for Montreal. But there's a photo on Wikipedia of Marty Gelinas and Craig Conroy chatting. And I don't know if this was the reason, but, just that he has a French name or that he's French Canadian. He did play for the Quebec Nordiques. Marty Gelinas did very briefly, but that always struck me. It's true. This is 100% true. 2011 Heritage Classic alumni game back at McMahon Stadium. Marty Gelinas, who never played for the Canadiens, played for Montreal. That's very similar to that. But yeah, first time I can really remember the last few years, at least, that the Hitmen are adders, it seems. They've had a really nice start. Carter Yakimchuk, obviously, the main draw for that Hitmen team. But Tanner Howe, a legit prospect, a guy who at the start of the previous season, some people were saying maybe this guy might be a fringe first-round pick, ends up going just outside the first round. But another reason to watch the Hitmen. So that's good for the city.
Yeah, he got a lot of attention 2 seasons ago because he was very well known at that point for playing with Connor Bedard. But last year he proved like he doesn't need Connor Bedard to put up some numbers, even if the team was in a bit of a rebuilding spot. Then I know the two of them are still really tight. I know actually Bedard put on his Instagram story just a sad face with how being traded, especially since Regina just had played their 5,000th game in franchise history.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. Oldest franchise in junior hockey, but
well, and the Hitmen, big game coming up. I believe the Teddy Bear Toss is on the way.
Coming up. Yep, they just opened up
the press level. First 3 rows. That's right. That'll be on December 1st.
It's a Sunday. It's a 4 o'clock
4 p.m. So go check that out. So
I'm sorry. Are you trying to one-up me on the WHL information?
No, I'm just trying to keep the conversation going, Cami. Just trying to have the pitter-patter back and forth.
Big dog.
No, she's the big dog.
Big dog. You're big
She's
dog.
the big dog. She's the WHL gal. She knows her stuff.
The big dogs are the fighters.
That's
the big dogs are our fighters, and that is who we are going to honor tonight with the Alberta Blue Cross Meaningful Moment of the Week. So if you're planning a trip, make sure you remember to pack travel insurance from Alberta Blue Cross. When you've got Canada's most trusted travel insurance in your back pocket, you can focus on making the right kind of memories while you're away. And these are special, special memories that we saw at the Saddle Dome tonight. It was Hockey Fights Cancer Night. People who are currently battling, survivors, people who have loved ones touched by the disease, all kind of got to share in that moment tonight. And let's take a little look at some of the signs that we saw around the Saddle Dome, because I really enjoy seeing what people share here.
We want you to please stand proud, hold up your cards, and show us who you fight for.
Just so sweet. Even having the kids come out for the opening lineups.
Yeah, it was really a wonderful tribute. The Flames do this stuff really well, and it was cool to see all the guys walking in wearing their jerseys. And,
I love the watercolor effect.
It was
on
super
them.
cool.
I'm so bummed that they don't get to wear those for the warm-ups. Like the NHL's got to figure that out.
It's the dumbest thing ever. But yeah, it looked super cool, and I thought they just did a wonderful job.
And if you didn't catch it at the intermission, Brendan Parker had Steve Blake on. Local golfer, incredible golfer. But he has been battling lung cancer, and he got to participate in the Rogers Charity Classic this summer, which he said, like, this is my Masters. This is Steve's Masters. And he got to have that moment, like, teeing off at Canyon Meadows in front of everybody, and he's doing pretty well now. His son Connor played for MRU for a long time, actually, on those really good Cougars teams, but he's also a really good golfer, so it was cool to see him. Anyone in particular that you fight for?
That's a really good question. I know my grandpa Don passed away probably a little after my first birthday. He had cancer back then. It was a long time ago. My family's been relatively lucky, very fortunate, but a lot of people less so. I briefly went to school in Ottawa, so I once got to see Alex Trebek at a pretty cool at the storied Panda game. It was maybe 2 or 3 months before he passed. He made a public appearance there, and that was really cool.
So would have gone bananas.
Yeah. Oh, it was incredible. So yeah, Alex Trebek, there you go. That one's out to you. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. The best game show host ever. I love watching Jeopardy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will always take this opportunity, just because it is Hockey Fights Cancer. I had a friend who passed away several years ago now. She was in her late teens. Her name was Becca Schofield. She was incredible. She just kindness drove everything that she did. And she was a cuckoo crazy hockey fan, particularly the Dallas Stars and her Moncton Wildcats. She was all about it. Their Community Hero Award is actually named after her now. But her big thing was, if you can, donate blood.
Yes.
Donate blood. It helps so many people in so many different ways, not even just if you're battling cancer. It can be used for any variety of reasons. And I know it's particularly big in the hockey world, but that was always her thing. Help out if you can. And also for Manny Viveros.
Yeah.
Former Edmonton Oilers head coach. He's been with the Swift Current Broncos for a long time. He's in the Vegas system. He's now with the Vancouver Giants. A couple of years ago, he unexpectedly found out that he had cancer when he thought he was totally well. And when he went in for treatment, they found a second form of cancer. So he was dealing with 2 at once.
Wow.
Obviously, that there's incredible mental strain that comes with that as well. But now, a few years later, he is in the clear. He's happy. He's healthy. He's loving his job. And I talked to him the other day, and we'll have a piece on it on Monday. But his message is just, guys, go get checked. It's also November. It's the end of Men's Health Month. mental, physical. Take care of yourselves. I know that we're all tough and we think that we shouldn't go to the doctor unless something's actively falling off of you, but everyone take a little care and go in there if you can and get checked out.
Well, the best thing, you can go give blood very easily. Just go to any clinic, Canadian Blood Services. They've got the one that I always used to tell people was at Eau Claire Market, but you can't go to that one anymore. I will miss that place forever. But yeah, just make sure you have a nice big meal before you go, because you got to be able to have all the iron in you that doesn't. You don't faint. That happened to me once. But yeah,
I'm actually not allowed anymore.
Are you not allowed?
No. Well, I tried to go donate for Becca and
hemoglobin count's too low or something.
Well, I didn't weigh enough and I didn't have enough iron. So I went back, I gained a little weight and I went back a month later and I barely qualified and I had a seizure and they're like, oh no, thank you. Don't come back.
I did faint once. But really as I hadn't eaten enough. If you have a big meal, a couple hours before you go, they treat you so well. I mean, you have a little pin prick in your finger, a little prick in your arm, but after that, they'll give you all the cookies you want. If you go to the right clinic, they'll give you a couple of bowls of soup. They'll give you some cans of whatever soda pop you want. They'll send you out. It's well worth it. And of course, it's all for the best cause.
Yeah. And we'll close out the segment. Just a shout out to Ken in the chat here. My best friend Jimmy lost his battle in 2006. My youngest is named after him. That is tremendous. What a way to honor your friend. I'm sorry for your loss, but what a legacy. And I hope that your kiddo gets to hear all the wonderful stories about Jimmy as he grows up. And that is our Alberta Blue Cross meaningful moment of the week. Hockey Fights Cancer, just something that everyone has been touched by. So
Norm Macdonald too. Norm Macdonald, funniest guy ever. There's another one.
Lovely. Yeah. And if you want more information, you can visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Well, we've been at it for just about an hour here. Wow. Anything you want to touch on before we get over to thoughts, questions?
Well, we're not there yet.
Concerns.
Holy moly, this one's going long. Hey, it's been a great night for it. I mean, it was just a fun game, really from start to finish. They got off to a real wicked start. I'm gonna go see that movie this weekend. It's been in my mind. A wicked start. Just Wicked.
Oh.
Yeah, you gonna go see it?
Probably not.
That's word association for you. It's great. It looks good. No, they got off to a wicked start, and then they just kept popping them on goal, and they finally got them to go. And it was a game that must have felt like a real weight off the shoulders for so many players, and just a night that they needed in some respects. And you just hope from the standpoint of wanting to see what they can do in the playoffs. Like, that's the thing that kind of gets to me is like, it would be kind of nice if we could see what this core could do with, a little bit of fire underneath them. We've kind of seen all these players over the last couple of years kind of playing checked out a little bit. And it's honestly not really their fault in a lot of instances.
And a good young goalie.
Yeah. And a good young goalie. That's the big difference. Did we not
recently see a team go from worst to first with a rookie goaltender named Jordan Binnington, who might be at Four Nations?
Hey, Canada's goaltending. That's some wicked stuff right there.
Oh, that terrifies me.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's just a fun night.
It was fun. I don't know what it is about the Rangers, but Calgary always gets up to play the Rangers and boo Adam Fox. Yeah. Not just once, every time, even if he has 25 shifts.
They are defying gravity in the standings.
Okay, I know that one.
There you go.
I do know that one.
There you go. I went. I was in New York actually in March, and I went and saw Wicked, and it lives up to. You wouldn't pick I wasn't necessarily thinking that's what I want to do in New York, but it was amazing. The show was amazing. So.
You know what, folks? Last time I was on here, we had Mike promise that he was going to sing German folk songs.
I'm not going to sing any songs from Wicked.
Yes, no. You are. You're going to sing popular. I know you have the range.
You gotta be popular. I don't know. I don't know the lyrics after that. Perfect poise, some fun with boys. I don't know. I leave it to Ariana. I can't do it. I'm not even gonna worry.
I think we figured out your Halloween costume for next year.
Yeah, I'll go as Elphaba. Well, when I was at the theater, they had the slushes and they had Elphaba apple, and it was $11, and it was really good, but it was $11.
Is that not just a Slurpee?
It was. Yeah, it was a bright green, and it was delicious.
I would rather go see Rocky Horror projected onto the side of a grain elevator or performed live in some scary basement.
Questions? Got any questions?
Yeah, first of all, how dare you?
Okay.
No, you got anything flagged, Yasmin, that we can throw up here for a couple more before we call it a night?
Oh yeah, we need Bet365. Thanks, Yasmin.
Thank you. Someone's on top of it tonight.
Jesus, we are really behind it tonight. It's all me. It's just my mind is going crazy. What do we got? My computer's dead. I can't see the screen.
Your computer's dead.
Yeah, it's the game for tomorrow. It's Pittsburgh.
We're checking out
Pittsburgh
the game
against
for
Winnipeg.
tomorrow.
Pittsburgh against Winnipeg. The favorite, I would imagine, is Winnipeg. Can't see it on my screen, but I would imagine Bet365. They know a fair bit about hockey.
Share.
Here we go. We're gonna share. Yeah. Let me just. Winnipeg's the heavy favorites, as you would expect, being, arguably the hottest team, not arguably, they're the hottest team in the league right now. Pittsburgh, not the hottest team in the NHL right now, Cami.
No, lukewarm.
Yeah. Lukewarm.
At best.
Lukewarm is overselling it.
Okay.
They are.
In terms of heat, because they have Sidney Crosby, it's like you tossed frozen soup into the microwave for not long enough, and the bowl is hot.
They are.
And the soup is cold.
The Penguins are appalling, and I don't know exactly what they're going to do. But yeah, I would pick the Jets tomorrow, and I would probably go. I would probably hit the over, not because I think Pittsburgh is going to score many goals, but because I think Winnipeg, with their goaltender, fueling them.
You probably don't need to put your star goaltender up against them.
I probably wouldn't put Hellebuck in net. I probably wouldn't against the Penguins. So you never know. Probably Eric Comrie against Tristan Jarry, maybe Alex Nedeljkovic. I don't know. I would hit the over on Winnipeg.
A true murderer's row of goaltenders you just listed there.
Eric Comrie, that video that he had a couple weeks ago answering those fan questions about that was really funny.
Yeah,
go look
like
that
the stupid
up.
questions.
The stupid questions one. Yeah, that was
stupid questions.
Like those goaltenders, they either say nothing or they say everything in those interviews. And he was it's like Devin Cooley. He's just that exact same personality. Just watching that video made me a fan.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
That's Bet365 promo code NATION. On Bet365.
You can open an account today, bet on a huge range of markets. Like you said, code is NATION when you sign up. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Look at Cami bailing me out with the liners.
I forgot that your laptop died. I'm very sorry about that.
It's my own fault for not charging it.
Yeah, I did the same thing on night one this year.
It happens. This is a real strong operation that we've got going here at Flames Nation Studios. We're really
truly the who's who of who was available tonight.
Well, who was available because Ryan Pinder put me in this slot, not knowing that it was my birthday, and I was more than happy. I considered it to be a wonderful gift to be here in this studio with you and with you, Yasmin. But Ryan Pinder, you blew it, Pinder. Not knowing.
That's so sweet. I immediately booked my birthday off when I got the schedule.
Well, I wasn't initially scheduled. Pinder was like, "Yo, Mike, you got anything going on Thursday?" And I just was like, "No, Pinder, because I want to be here on the show because I love our viewers."
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. What do we got going on here? Any questions?
Yeah, let's see. Let's take a couple here before we call it. Prediction when Flames will score more than 3 goals. I think it happens on Saturday.
Should have happened tonight.
It should have happened tonight. Ugh.
I don't know. I mean, I think they'll do it against Ottawa. I don't know if they'll do it against Minnesota just because.
But they'll also allow more than 3 against Ottawa for some reason.
Probably. Yeah. They've had some weird games against Ottawa. I think Ottawa will be a weird game where the dam breaks open and maybe Wolf has, one of his rare off nights like the Utah game or something, but maybe they'll give him some run support. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this Flames team. I don't know what to make of the Senators. I am the analyst who does not know how to analyze right now because the Flames just have me questioning everything. So,
well, they're impossible to predict.
Oh,
you almost need to say something just to force them to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Which is why this was supposed to be the tank year. And they are a point away from first in the division.
The upshot of this is that, I mean, the last time that the Flames had a really weird, surprising playoff year, it was the McDavid draft year. And it ended up being, the deepest draft of the last 15 years, and they traded their own first-round pick. They got Dougie Hamilton out of it, but they traded the Matt Barzal, a pick that could have been Matt Barzal. So many guys in that 2015 first round. If there's one thing that I take out of it, no disrespect at all to any of these prospects, the 25 draft, out of the next, like this stretch of 5 drafts going from maybe 23 to 27, 25 is probably the one where you're maybe the happiest not having a top 10 pick. If you had to not have a top 10 pick in any of those years, just because the generational guy isn't necessarily there. There's some really good players in this draft. Like Porter Martone looks like an outstanding player. James Higgins. Yeah, tons of good WHL guys in this draft. But really, if it came down to them maybe giving away their 26 pick or their 27 pick, and it's really early on those drafts, but there's some guys in those drafts who just look unbelievable. I think maybe you're a little bit happier, or not happier, but you're more okay with not having your first this year necessarily.
I just wonder, it's so far away, and it's like, who is going to get Gavin McKenna?
Who's going to get Landon Dupont?
Who's going to get Landon Dupont?
Yeah.
He's more than a point a game as a 15-year-old.
Oh, he's remarkable. I need to get down to Angel of the Winds Arena to go see him, because I've been there and he wasn't there. And I went there last year to go see Tej Ginla, and then Tej was 2 years ago to see Tej, and Tej was a healthy scratch for the Seattle Thunderbirds. So I got to get back to Angel of the Winds. That's I
want to go down there, but I'm not going anywhere because I don't have a passport right now, and I don't think that's changing with the strike anytime soon.
No, probably not.
No. It got washed.
It got washed? Oh,
and
my
I
God.
pulled it out, and the picture was just gone.
Really?
Like, the pages are fine. The information is all there. The picture is just gone.
That's weird.
The picture just washed off my passport.
I would think they would use more resilient pigment than that, but it's weird.
I know, and it sucks because Canada. I was so young when I got that, and now to get up.
Another photo, probably.
As an old.
Yeah, I've kept my same driver's license photo since I was like 17, because I'm just, I don't look that much different, but.
Congratulations. Drop the skincare routine, Mike.
Just some water every night.
Oh, gosh. I think that's a good spot to call it here. We've had you on here for just over an hour. I know Pinder wants us to keep it to 45 minutes right now, but a treat for your birthday. A little yap with the fam.
Pinder can go kick rocks. What does he know?
That's the energy we're closing out here tonight.
Love you, Ryan.
Happy birthday, Michael. Thanks for joining us, Flames fans. We'll see you on Saturday.